Hey, 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 yeah, hey, what a time to be alive. I left them for dead, now I'm living right. No new friends, no new advice. That was high then, but we got bigger heights. We got bigger fish to fry. Bet on myself, then I roll the dice. Man, it ain't a gamble if you know you nice.
All right, man. Welcome back to Dawn to Dream Podcast. I'm your host, Ara Amos, the #1 podcast in Dallas, and we got a very, very special guest in the building here today, Mr. Adrian Lockett.
Yo, what's up, man? Thanks for having me, bro.
Of course, man. Appreciate you coming out, man.
Absolutely.
Bro, I wanna. You have a story, but I really don't know your story, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like we had a couple of great interactions. We've had some great events, man. You've hosted some phenomenal events, but I want to know the story of Adrian Lockett and.
Yeah.
Start with, like, where you were born, what was family like, what was growing up like?
Yeah, for sure. So I was born in a rural town in Alabama, a town called Butler. Okay. And it's the westernmost city, small city. It's Choctaw County. It's a small city called Butler. It's the westernmost city before you get to Mississippi. Okay. So Mississippi is the city of Meridian is 35 miles from the town center. And I grew up, my dream was always to play football. And my mom always told us that we had to figure out something to make it out because we didn't have any money, you know. So we always tried to capitalize on the things that we were good in. And we didn't short ourselves by saying, okay, I got to make football come true. Well, if football didn't come true, which it didn't because I didn't stay in college. I didn't stay at West Alabama. But it was always put on us to learn stuff, you know, like learn how to do different things. So, man, I learned so much stuff growing up that even in the world today, like I barely have to call somebody to the house because I already know how to do it. But grew up in Alabama, attended Choctaw County High School. I was a standout football player, and I attended the University of West Alabama, in which I stayed 2 years. I was on full scholarship playing football there, and it still wasn't enough to keep me afloat to the point to where I didn't have to depend on my mom for money that she didn't have. And even though you get a scholarship, there's still expenses that come in college.
For sure.
My car still had to be paid for, my insurance for the car, my phone bill, and I tried to weather the storm until I didn't want to do it anymore. So I didn't want my mom taking care of me, being that I was a grown man, and I didn't football was just mentally so far-fetched that I didn't stick with it. However, my cousin did go pro from University of West Alabama. He went to the Buffalo Bills, Kendrick office, and I was years behind him though, and I needed, I was so caught up in the now moment. I needed now so that my mom wouldn't have to depend on me.
Survival.
I wouldn't have to depend on her. Uh-huh. So I left, man, and I went and got my barber's license. I cut hair during the daytime, and I loaded trucks for a company called Scott's Company. The Scott's Company, they make mulch and potting soil and things like that. And I found myself in the same spot for 2-3 years doing the same thing, and I didn't feel like I was elevating. So I joined the Tuscaloosa Police Department, and this was during that time. This was what do you call it? The recession.
Okay, 08.
08. This is when the recession happened. I think Obama was just about to be president. Yeah. And they went on hiring freeze. So they went on hiring freeze, and I was like, hey, I'm trying to change my life around, but they went on hiring freeze, and I was number 6 on the roster, and I didn't want to wait because I didn't know how long what that looked like. So I went on to join the military. I joined the military, and I want to say I joined in August, and I shipped out in December. So I didn't officially start basic training until January. So I spent all that time just holding in Oklahoma. It's cold, and all we did was wake up and eat every day and do a count to make sure everybody was still where they were supposed to be at. So I was like, man, I wish I would have stayed home and enjoyed it, celebrated.
When did you go to Oklahoma?
In 2009. Well, 2008.
And then January you.
By January, that's when I started basic training.
So how long were you waiting to go to basic training in Oklahoma?
I was waiting probably about 3 weeks. before we
man.
even started. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and it was cold, windy, rainy, and all that type of stuff. And did basic training, and I graduated in March, from January to March, and well, really December to March. And I went from there to my AIT, which is the training after basic for your job that you choose. So that was in Fort Knox, Kentucky. I did that, and then after that, I think I spent about 6 months out there. And then after that, they shipped me to Fort Bliss in El Paso. While in El Paso, they give you this like mentality of joining the Army, like you be all you could be. That was one of the slogans, and then the Army of One.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about the military is like I have no regrets on joining the military. I'm actually 100% happy that I chose that route. But in the military, I felt like just another Social Security number, like it was all about like a Social Security number, like that's all that I was. However, I still learned the life skills to be compatible today in society, to be a standout, to be able to survive more efficiently. So I spent 3 years in the military, and then while I was in the military, I never listened to the radio, and this was CDs. We still put the CDs in the CD changer or a USB drive. You know? And I was listening to the radio for some odd reason, and I never listened to the radio. But it was they was pretty much saying that if you wanted to be an actor or a model, then I was having a casting down on San Antonio Street, which is downtown El Paso. And if you think you have what it takes, then show up.
This is after the military or during the
Just during the military.
Okay.
So I had just got out of PT, was physical training, and I was on the way home. So I was like, I think I'm going to go throw on some clothes and go down. I went down. It was like 1 million people out there waiting. And I was like, they're never going to choose me, And they chose me. They told me, they said, we think you have what it takes, and we'll see you in Dallas, But I still had to foot the bill of the travel expenses, the hotel expenses, and it was for 2 days down here at the Hyatt. So you know how expensive that can be, and then paying for parking. And the military wasn't paying us that well. So I still done it. I met some quality people there that ultimately led me to my next point in life, which was after I got out of the military. I started working for this company called Georgia Pacific, multi-billion-dollar $1,000,000 company. I don't know if they made it billions. Maybe they are, but they make a lot of money. Excuse me, a lot of money. We made tissue and paper towel, and from where I'm from, like it's a dream job. It's back in my hometown, and starting pay was like $25 an hour, and I worked like all the overtime that they could garnish out. So I was doing pretty good, and I seen an old guy there, and an older guy. He had been there 38 years, and I had been there 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, I said, man, you made all the money. Like, why you still here? He replied back. He said, well, if I leave now, I won't get all the benefits that's due to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about it. I'm like, you've been here 38 years and you can't get everything. Like, I'm thinking like 20 years is maybe And then I thought to myself, like, okay, well, I've been there 2 years. He needs 40 years. I need his 38.
The math ain't math then.
Yeah, like I'm not about to be here 38
Nah.
years. It was a cool job, but I made the money, but I didn't really have the time to spend the money outside of the bills that were due every first of the month, 15, whatever. So I thought to myself, like, what is it that you really want to do? You know? I asked myself, like, what is it that you really want to do? I said, I want to be an actor and a model. And
Why? Why?
Because that was my passion.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like in school, the only reason I never told nobody that I wanted to do it was because I never seen nobody do it that was like around me.
Right.
So
you didn't know it was possible.
Right.
But where did that stem from? Like, where did that passion? Was it like TV? Was it?
Nah. So we did like stage plays in school.
Okay.
And people always enjoyed like the show that me and my friends put on stage.
Okay.
And I was like, I would like to do this, but I'm like, how do you do it?
Yeah.
Where you go? Like, where do you start?
Right.
So it was like put in the back until I become an adult and I can tell myself like I can go make the mistakes and figure this out, But there's still a strong like suit to try to follow because once again I've never seen nobody go on and do it, so I don't know where to start.
And And it's funny because and you're from Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
You probably see people go play football. That's all
Exactly.
you know. So
Yeah.
that's what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had to like reset my mind and tell myself like I can do whatever I want to do. I just got to put my mind to it.
Right.
I thought about going back to college and playing.
How old
football.
are you at this point?
I'm 38 now.
No, at that point.
At that point, I was like 26.
Okay.
Yeah, 26. So I asked myself like, like what is it? How can you do it? Like, and then I remember that I went to Dallas and did the event. So I immediately started there. I said the people that I met at the event, I'm gonna go like follow everybody that they've done work to get them like everybody that looked important on their Facebook page at the time. Instagram went out. Yeah, everybody that looked important, I went and followed.
Okay.
And when in 3 days' time, somebody reached out to me and asked me would I do a fashion show for them in Dallas, and I expressed to her like, I've never done a fashion show. I don't know how to do it, but by the time I get there, I'll have everything worked out. And then she was like, well, I believe in you. And actually, she thought I was already in Dallas. And I didn't tell any different because if anybody knew that I was in Alabama, it probably wasn't going to,
Right.
He's not going to come to Texas and do it. So for the longest, everybody thought I lived in Dallas because every single weekend for 3 months straight, even though I was working full time, I would swap out. I would use my vacation time. I would call in. Like whatever the company allowed until the fine line, I did it until I couldn't anymore. So.
And you're traveling to Dallas every weekend?
Every single weekend. I still got my Tahoe that I had back then.
Really?
It never put me down. And then like I said, I think God builds you for the road that he has you. Because I've been a mechanic. I've been working on cars and stuff my whole life. I was in the military as an Abrams tank mechanic. But what that means is everything below a tank, they made us work on.
Mm-hmm.
So the tank itself and everything that was not as what do you call it? Sophisticated as a tank, we still worked on it. So I wasn't scared of a breakdown on the side of the road because I always had my tools in the truck, and I was like, well, if it breaks down, I can fix it.
Yeah.
I'll just get a ride to the nearest store, auto parts store, and I'll come back and fix it. And I think I had one time that truck, it overheated because a hose busted. I had Calvin, my friend Calvin. You remember Calvin?
Calvin, yeah.
I had Calvin come and pick me up. It was outside of Dallas, maybe like an hour. I had him come pick me up, take me to the parts store. Went back, put the hose on the truck, and then I just waited another day before I left. But like I said, I feel like God put you in the position to, and then I knew how to live on my own and live out of my truck. And no matter where I went, even when I didn't have the money while chasing a dream, which I'll get back to it. Let me go back first. So I met people, and the people that I met in Dallas when I was in the military and I came out for the event.
You're networking.
Yeah. I added all the people that looked important. And like I said, somebody reached out to me. I did that fashion show. From there, I met other people, took pictures with people, and then people started adding me.
Yeah.
And it was like a domino effect.
Exactly.
So and
you're getting referrals
Yeah.
Yeah.
Photographers, designers, and I was real popular in the modeling space in Dallas at one point in time. But after 3 months' time, like I'm one of those people. Like, okay, well, I see that I'm doing the same thing, but it's only the same thing. So, so this is what I want to do, but it's not going anywhere.
Got you.
So after that first event that I did, a lady, Normita, I don't know if you know Normita. Her name is Normita Joven. She owns Icon Studios. So she hit me up on Facebook, and she was like, I would love to meet with you in person about possibly joining my agency. And then this stemmed from taking pictures with people, and she reached out to me. So I did that. She was another one of the reasons that I was here every single weekend for 3 months. And like I said, once I felt like it wasn't going anywhere, the relationship with her, the relationship with everybody, I kind of deaded it. I was like, well, I appreciate you for getting me this far. I'm going to make some changes and do something different. And then that's when I started like using the photos from all of the events, the fashion shows, and all the pictures that I've taken for designers and stuff like that. I started using those photos and submitting them to me in the background in movies.
Okay.
So in Atlanta, Louisiana, so I kind of like redirected my path, and I formed a database of people in Dallas. All right, so those people continue doing what I was doing in the beginning, but I changed my path.
Okay.
So I started doing background work in Atlanta and in Georgia and in Louisiana. So I landed on the cover of the movie Get Hard with Kevin Hart, Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
So I had done a lot of homework on acting, a lot of homework. I realized that they have it on paper, but they don't have it together until they get on set and they're figuring out, like, so there's a chance that I could possibly speak in a movie. But when I first started, I didn't want to speak. I wanted to learn the business first. I didn't want nobody to just throw me out there and then I'm figuring it out. So I wanted to be in the background purposely to learn firsthand what it took to be a star.
Mm-hmm.
And I only like sent out my photos and stuff for like major movies that I came across because I was like, these people are major for a reason. So I wanted to learn from them. So my first one was Drop Dead Diva. It was like a hit show, TV show. My second one was Tyler Perry's The Oval. My third one was Fast and Furious 7. And my fourth one was Get Hard. So after that, I didn't do background anymore. So I learned enough from those sets as to what it took to speak on camera. You know, I learned the verbiage. And a lot of people, you know, they want the forefront without doing the homework in the background.
Right.
And I didn't want that. I wanted, if somebody was going to trust me to lead a movie, I wanted to know what was going on behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying, so that I could be more of a service to the movie.
Yeah, you want to be prepared.
Yeah. So I learned that, and then Get Hard came about. I learned that the closest you could get to speaking without speaking was being a featured extra. So this is why I don't knock like the free stuff that I've done, because like working with Normita and all of them, I met key people that was like, hey, I know you got a bunch of tattoos, man. You look muscular. Like, they want this thug look for the movie Get Hard, and it's got Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell in it. And I was like, what? You know? So I submitted my photos with my tattoos showing and everything, and it was like a turnaround. Like, as soon as I pressed send, it was like 5 minutes, they called me.
Really?
And it was like, yo, we would love to have you in the movie. You know, like, we sent all the paperwork now. You're going to be playing really, really close to Kevin and Will. You're going to be so featured. Like, you're going to love this movie. And I'm like, I just got into this. So I'm like, what? Like, really?
How long did it take from you going to that first fashion show to that moment?
So this was August 2013, the fashion show.
Uh-huh.
And this was September 2015, I believe.
So it took 2.5 years almost.
Yeah, to get to that Will Ferrell moment.
But and then you were saying you were doing stuff for free.
Yeah, so every time I was
2.5 years of doing stuff for free?
Oh, yeah, I never got paid. Like,
wow.
I never got paid for nothing. No fashion show, no photo shoot, no nothing with Icon Studios. She'll tell us to show up, and it's nothing against her. She'll tell us to show up, and like she'll be like, it's a great opportunity. Right. However, there's no pay. I wasn't looking for pay because I didn't feel like I knew anything enough. I wanted the experience.
There you go. And you wanted the value. You wanted to step into that role. So when that time does come, you're ready.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it didn't bother me. Like, I was making good money at my job. I worked so much overtime, and I was like, I want to put this money into to making the mistake, so I found that I could find out the route to actually go.
Yeah.
So for 2 years now, for a whole 2 years, I never did receive any pay that went along with the entertainment industry. And it wasn't until like I did like background roles that I got paid, but background, it was still like $100 for 8 hours or $85 or something like that for 8 hours of work, and then you get into the overtime, then you get a little bit more. So those chicks was like, maybe I could pay a phone bill or something with it, but it was nothing to the point to where it was life changing.
You're living off of it again.
Yeah, nah. I was spending more money traveling up and down the road for the experience, the food. You know, slept in the car, take baths at truck stops. But I feel like, once again, the God-led way, I went to the military first, so I know how to live outside of my means. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a world that isn't everything's orchestrated and set in place for me to win, I know how to live without having those things. You know. Yeah. So I spent so much time on the road that the road became a part of me. Like, I just packed to leave, and I don't know when I'm going back home. You know. So I always made sure things were straight at home before I left, and I would live life on the road. So when I get to Dallas, they'll call me to be on like one of those crime shows in Tennessee. I get to Tennessee, then they'll want me in Florida. So I leave and go to Florida. So I leave Florida, they want me back in Dallas. Leave Dallas, and it just kept on going. That's once I quit my job, though.
Okay.
So to go back, I did Get Hard, and I spoke in the movie, but they had to cover it up with Will Ferrell's voice. And the director told me, he said, man, I wish you would have told me, this was later on, I wish you had told me you spoken, because like we could have got the proper paperwork signed and all that stuff so that we could have gave you credit. But now it's too late, and we have to cover you up with Will. But he was like, whatever you do, just keep on going. Like, you have a great look. and I feel like you could do well in this industry. So, those words, and that meant everything to me. They did still throw me on the poster of Get Hard. So I'm all in LA, like on the posters when people go and they're like, fool, I see you out here on the poster with Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell. So everybody that I met like in Dallas was like, yo, he really like taking this thing serious and doing it. I didn't know any other actors in Dallas. I didn't know anybody that was doing anything that I was doing until after I started, and then I feel like the film industry started coming like to Dallas after that. But there was nobody that I knew. Everybody that I met was trying to model and things of that nature. So not saying I started it out here, but like there's a lot of people that came after like I started doing it. And I probably like instilled in a lot of people that, I can do it too,
For sure.
Yeah. So the movie after Get Hard was Man Down with Shia LaBeouf.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on set and I was a featured extra role. They wanted a lot of military people. I had the military background. Once again, I already know that once you get on set, like they don't have it all together. Like they gotta block it, and block it means like, all right, child, you start over here and you go over here, and then we're gonna end the scene right here. We're all gonna play in this space though. So and then they have to get their words out and see where they're gonna say the words at and things like that. So they don't have it together until they block it. So I went with the mindset on set of, well, I came here, I still have a job. I'm not looking for this movie to make me money. So I'm willing to take a risk on set of saying something, because if they put me off set, I still got my job to go back to.
Yeah.
So in the military, we learn to pay strict attention to detail, because that's the difference between life and death when you're in a foreign country. If you're driving down the road and the road look like it's been dug up, then that stops the whole convoy. I don't care if it's 1,000 vehicles behind. When that one vehicle stops, everything stops until they go make that IED, the improvised explosive device, trigger, so that we can continue on. But that's, once again, it's put there for somebody to die. And if you don't pay attention, then a lot of people can lose their life just because of not paying attention. So I pay strict attention on set of how they move, their pacing, the moments that I could fit something in, and the story that they're trying to tell, so that if I say something, it needs to match what's going on. Tori Kittles was the star with Shia LaBeouf, and then you had Jai Courtney, and then Katie Mara, I think she's in it too, or Kate Mara, however you say her name. So they rehearsed the scene 3 times the same way and 1 time differently. So I banked that they was gonna do it the way that they did it 3 times. Mm-hmm. So in that moment, during that action on the first take, I blurted out something, and it was like the Marines or some of the toughest, filthiest, and it was all bad stuff. And then he went to the good stuff, but there was a pause, and I said, like when he said some of the filthiest, I said kind of like Robert's Hahn. That was Jai Courtney, the guy that played Terminator.
Okay.
Jai Courtney. I said kind of like Robert's Hahn. That was his character, and then everybody just laughed. And then he looked at me like, you ain't supposed to say what you just said. But as a professional actor, you're taught never to break your character unless the director yell cut. These are professional actors, way more professional than me, because they lead the movie. Mm-hmm. So they knew that. So he just played right off of it. He was like, all right, settle down. Then he went back into his dialogue. So the director say cut, it's over with. Here comes Shia LaBeouf coming toward me, and I'm like, oh, shit. Can you cuss on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit. We about
no, you're good. You're good.
I was like, I'm gonna have to fight this dude, like he's.
You're gonna have to fight Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, because I was, he's real like picky about his work,
He's also
method actor.
But I've also seen him out at not in person, but at bars and stuff, and he'll get rowdy.
Oh yeah.
He'll get rowdy.
Yeah, no, they stopped the whole set for like 2 hours because he was pissed off about something.
Really?
It wasn't about the scene that I was. It was something else. I don't know what it was, but we was on a bus like getting shipped out of basic training, and he was pissed about something, and everything just stopped. But he came over to me, and I was like, okay, well, we about to fight, So I'm gearing up, like, okay, I'm about to fight this dude. Shia LaBeouf, he was like, hey,
you should have fought him. That would have been that might have went viral. You could have,
right. But he came with peace and love, though.
Okay.
Yeah, like he said nothing bad. Like he was like, yo, like you been in the military for real? And I'm thinking like he messing with me. He was like, so you been in the military for real, right? And I was like, yeah, I served. I was in the Army. And then he was like, so like in a serious moment, I'm still thinking he messing with me, and it's the lead up, like, yeah, I think he about to fight me. Uh-huh. So he was like, so in a serious moment like this, we completed training and we're about to go to our duty station. We're like, would you really say something that make people laugh like that, And he was like, "What?" Like he was like, "Yo, serious question, like because like I want to know because you've been in the military for real." And then I was like, "Yo, that's a teachable moment," you know. And then I said, listen, man. I said, we're in the military. We did all this training. We're stuck behind in these woods, and we haven't seen people in days, like months, excuse me. And we're getting ready to go to this duty station where we're going to get activated and get sent to war. So the truth of the reality is that we don't know if we're going to make it back. Like, we want to look at every moment we can to laugh and smile and have fun, because the seriousness in the matter when we go overseas is that we might not make it back. And then he was like, oh, shit, like, I never looked at it like that, you know? So I said, man, anytime that we can find to make a joke and laugh, like, we make jokes and laugh. It's almost like we don't know, like, we don't want to acknowledge the seriousness that we might not make it back.
Right.
So we want to stay true to, like, making moments funny and memorable, because now we're actually brothers, because I got your back and you got mine. We need to be able to laugh and smile. And he was like, yo, whatever you said, fucking say that shit again. Like, if anybody say anything to you, you come and get me. You know, like that. And inside my heart, I'm like jumping up and down. Like, but on the outside, I'm like,
word.
You know, yeah. So, you know, and that was my first speaking role, and that made me SAG after union.
So it's, I want to stay on the military just real quick, because it's a lot of, like, men. It's like, we know that we're brothers as if we make fun of each other.
Yeah.
So I think that's how it's in the military, because I have a lot of people that I'm in business with that are Marines, Army.
Yeah.
And they all are just like vulgar, cracking jokes, and I love it, because that's how I am.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I feel right at home, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And then it's always like what do you call it? A Marine versus Air Force thing.
Oh, bro, they go crazy at each other.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, we're all brothers in arms, you know.
Right.
So we serve the same purpose. We just we join different ranks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all love at the end of the day. Guys will get into a fight and still be brothers. You know what I'm saying?
That's how it should be.
Yeah. But yeah, so after that was my initiation into SAG after. I have to pay like the union dues and all that to join the union, and I joined the union, and since then I haven't done any more background roles, and then they've been speaking roles, and so I got to the point at my job where I couldn't call in anymore. I didn't have nobody wanted to swap with me and all that, so I had another acting job coming up, and I think I was just being tested, like, with faith, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So at the end of the day, at my job, I felt like I had to make a decision whether I was gonna go to that next acting job or quit my job, because I had nothing else I had no more days or nothing like that. So you wouldn't believe it, 15 minutes before my shift was over, I used to carry these big rolls on a forklift and take it back to the machine and load the machine. So I was on my forklift and I was going to get a roll, and there was a guardrail that was laying down in my way of travel. And the company handbook states that if you don't do what you can to mitigate the risk of somebody else getting hurt and somebody sees it, then you could be terminated. So I was like, if somebody see me rolling up to this gate and I don't pick it up, then they're going to say that I didn't do what I could to keep other people safe. So that's one thing. But if I pick it up, somebody going to think I hit it, you know. So I just went on and picked it up, you know, and because I still had to load my machine.
Yeah.
Went on and picked it up, came back through. Supervisor from that department was right there. You know what happened to this guardrail? No, I don't know what happened to it, but, you know, I know you're in this area a lot because you come and get the paper. No, I don't know what happened to it. I did get off my forklift. I just implicated myself. I did get off my forklift and move it, you know, so nobody would get hurt. And then he's like, okay, you know. So then the next thing you know, him and the safety guy walking down to my machine, and they're walking up. Well, safety guy, he told me that you seen the guardrail laying down, you picked it up and moved it. What happened? I don't know what happened. Like, I just picked it up and moved it, you know, so nobody would get hurt. All right, well, we're going to have to they wanted me to leave the roll in the air, leave everything like it is, and we're going to have to lay you off until we do an investigation. So I'm thinking, like, to myself, like, cool, because, you know, like, I needed that day tomorrow so that I could go to my acting event. So I was like, God, answer my prayers, you know. Well, they didn't.
Isn't it funny how that works, man?
Man, that's not even the end of it. Like, that's just the beginning.
Okay.
So they laid me off for like 3 months.
Okay.
Like 3 months. So I had just bought another car, a little Honda Accord that I could.
I
drive
love
around.
Honda. I've been driving a Honda Accord forever, bro.
Yeah, I love the Hondas, man. I had just bought it, and then somebody hit me the next day and totaled it out. But hold on, I'm gonna go back to that. So
not the Honda, man.
Yeah,
not the Honda.
So 3 months go by and they don't. They call me back. So when they call me back, I'm meeting with all the salary people. They sit me down at the head of the table, and they have a letter where they wanted me to sit down. And I looked at it and I read the letter, and I was like, "This is a letter of termination. What am I being terminated for?" And then they said for dishonesty. And then I said, "Well, what did I lie about?" We have somebody, and they all knew that I was acting, and I was in the newspapers, and everybody in the plant, like,
right.
They knew, but I wasn't like, I didn't do anything outside the guidelines so that I could be fired.
Yeah, I hear.
So it's more of the point where he doing all of this, he's still coming working the overtime, and he's I probably was making more money than them through overtime and stuff, And down there, they're real jealous, man. They're real jealous.
For sure. This is in your hometown?
Yeah, in Alabama.
Gotcha.
So
it's not just down there, man. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere,
True story. So they said we have somebody that said that they seen you hit the guardrail. And, okay, so in the handbook, like a while back, before we get to this point, a guy named Tyrone Bright, which we still cool today. His name is Tyrone. Tyrone told me, he said, he used to call me Young Buck. He told me, he said, I always keep that handbook with you. I always read that handbook. Like, I don't care if you read it before, like, read it and reread it again, because that's going to be your way out one day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they going to try to stick you with something,
right.
Because, like, you one of them people. Like, you a target, So read this doggone handbook and know it front to back, And whenever I had downtime, I read it and read it again, And they saved me. So we're in the room, and they say, well, we have somebody that said they seen you hit the guardrail. So I pulled out my handbook and I went to the section because I knew it. It said if an employee is ever accused by another employee or an affiliate of Georgia Pacific of something, accused of something,
disorderly conduct,
anything, then you have a right to meet the person that accused you.
Okay.
So the person that said that they seen me hit the guardrail, okay, I want him to come and say, because they thought like, okay, he acting, he just gonna leave it alone.
Right. Yeah.
So I said I wanna meet the person that said that they seen me hit it, And then my union representative was in the room, and he said, well, he got a right to it, and I showed him in the book, and then they said they had started looking at each other like they thought I was just going, And then the union rep, well, we're gonna have to place it on hold and revisit this and bring the person that said that they seen. So what happened was they oh no. So I told him after that, and I always got to say what I want to say. So I told him, I said, for you guys to be in a salary position and y'all never had any problem out of me outside the guidelines that y'all allow us to do, you guys never had any problem out of me. I'm never late. If I call in within the window that you guys allow us to do. And I come here and I work all the overtime in the world. I said, for you guys to try to terminate me on something that you guys know isn't true says a lot about the character of you guys. So when I get home, I said, when I get home, I'm going to make sure I say a prayer for everybody in this room, because obviously somebody needs it,
Yeah.
And then I said, if y'all don't have anything else for me, I'm dismissing myself. They looked at each other. And then I told my union rep, I said, man, please just let me know what to do next, Walked out. I walked out. I was like 30 minutes into my drive. My union rep called me. Hey, man, they want to offer you $20,000 just to leave everything alone, walk away, like resign. I was going to quit. Like, I was going to quit that same day that I seen the guard, because I wasn't going to miss my acting opportunity.
Yeah.
I was going to quit. And they offered me $20,000 to leave it alone, walk away.
Why leave it alone? Because you had the opportunity to sue?
Leave it alone and walk away, meaning like, okay, well, we was going to fire you. Yeah, I probably could have sued if I wanted to, something like that.
Because they're trying to accuse you of something you didn't do.
Right.
And now you have evidence, and now it's kind of like, oh, this can...
Yeah.
In their mind, it's like, oh, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
This could get, if they decide to.
Right. So, and, that's a process, too, in this.
For sure.
And it's like, I knew where I was at. I knew what I really wanted to do. And $20,000, which they overnighted the check, it ended up being like $17,700 after taxes. Got it the next day. And I paid off my bills, paid off a lot of bills, and then I really hit the road acting, and I haven't worked since then. So if we go back just a little, I had bought that Honda Accord. Somebody hit me, totaled it out. Like I said, God works in mysterious ways, like on your path.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a mechanic, man. I know how to like put the car back together.
Mm-hmm.
The insurance sold it back to me. They gave me $1,100 for it. They wanted $2,200 for the car. I matched it, put another $1,100 with it, bought the car back, bought the parts off eBay and that junkyard, put the car back together. Man, I'm riding up and down the road in a car I don't have a bill for no more.
Nice.
Yeah, you know, so that's how it worked out. So, like, that's how I know I'm where I'm supposed to be in life. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It always works out, man.
Yeah. And, man, I hit the road hard, stayed true to it, and started getting booked more. And then I want to say like 8 months after that, the military fully retired me. So I really wasn't going to work then, like fully disabled veteran.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to New York Film Academy in 2019. Stayed a year out there just to make sure, like, the way that I learned, I want to make sure that I learned the proper things that I needed to learn to be successful.
Okay.
And I picked up on a few things, but a lot of things that I learned, I still learned the right way, self-taught, you know. And then it was getting in the way of me really booking jobs because I'm in school and I'm booking jobs. The people in school ain't booking jobs like I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I elected to get out of school and move from LA because I didn't like LA. And then I bought a house in Texas, which I came here. Being that I started in Texas, I had a good relationship with a lot of people. So I felt like Texas was more like home to me because I didn't want to live in Alabama, but Texas was still kind of country and city at the same time.
Yeah.
So I got my mixture, and then the airport's like right there, and like back where I'm from, the airport was like 3 hours away.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I started here in Texas, man, and I just kept on going, and now I just fly out. My agencies are in Atlanta, so they work in the Atlanta side. LA, they work in the LA side, and I have one in Phoenix that works like in all the other areas. So I don't have to be in one specific location to be in a movie. You know what I'm saying? I can do it from here in Dallas and travel abroad. But I started Airbnb and did the Airbnbs, continued acting, and then I got rid of one of my Airbnbs and I started a Creators Meetup Dallas. I was going to use the Airbnb for that purpose, to do like a house party type, sultry like vibe.
Yeah.
And too many people started confirming, and then I was like, well, I
don't want to do it at the house.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. Yeah.
So I went on and got rid of the house. So the overhead that I was paying for the house, like, I don't really have any overhead doing Creators Meetup, but the power in relationships is networking, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So I want to build my connections with people and build other people's connections with other people too. And a lot of people know me and trust me and believe in me. So it's really like say the word and we there, and like people have made like so many countless connections through me.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm living in purpose too with that. And then it doesn't take away from me acting. It really builds my fan base bigger, because if I ask these people at the event to go check this out, then these are really dedicated people who I could trust to check out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. So that's, I know that was a long story, but
I'm glad you told it, man. I didn't realize the stuff you really went through to get to where, I mean, you did, you worked at like the factory.
Yeah.
You were trying to be a police officer.
Yeah.
You did so many things. A barber,
Yeah, I've done so many things, man. Worked in construction. I worked in a lot of industrial plants. I was in school in West Alabama for industrial technology.
Played football. What position did you play?
Defensive end.
Defensive end, okay.
Yeah, I was probably 10 pounds heavier, and I was probably a lot faster than now at 38. But they couldn't stop me, you know. And I think I probably could have went pro had I stuck with it. And that's probably one of my biggest regrets. But man, back then,
but you didn't have the passion, right?
I did have the passion,
You
but
did have the
I didn't
passion?
have like the willpower. Like, you know, like sometimes you need people to be like, nah, just stick to what you're doing. But I didn't have a father figure. Nobody in my life. It was always just me. So I have to be strong for me. Like, I have to tell me, my mom and them, they didn't really get into like what I was doing, just long as I wasn't like in jail. And she'll tell us like, you go to jail and you do something out there, we don't have any money to come and get you. So make the best decisions, you know. And she tell me even today, like, she's so proud of me because everywhere she go, everybody she ran into, they don't have anything bad to say about me, you know. And she was like, keep treating people good because your name will go further than you ever will. So it's kind of my motto.
That's good, man.
Yeah. So I always make sure that I treat people good. And like, if I tell you I'm gonna be here Friday, you know, I don't like to backtrack on that and do something different, because now your level of trust in me kind of starts like
deteriorating.
Yeah, and I don't want that. Like, if I say I'm gonna do something, like, I want it to be golden. You know what I'm saying? So I don't never like rescheduling. Like, sometimes we can't help it.
Right.
If I got booked on a movie set or something like that, then of course
I'd understand too. I'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta go.
yeah. But if I'm here in Dallas, man, and I'm, and I don't lie to people. I don't say, hey, like something came up. I don't do that, because when people find out that I'm not a genuine person and I didn't stick to what I said I was gonna do and I lied about it, then that also takes away from my character.
Yeah.
So I don't do that. If I tell you I'm gonna do something, it needs to be something really, really major as to why I don't show up. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like people like.
Because you feel a type of way when it happens to you.
Yeah.
And it's not
exactly.
like it's not like we can't be friends or we can't have a relationship, but it's like, okay, I might hesitate pulling that trigger that second time because I know, maybe you show up, maybe you don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then it's like you meet somebody else and it's like, oh, I know this guy always comes through on their word.
Yeah.
I can count on
Exactly. And something even bigger than that, the people around me that if they tell me they're going to do something and you have a service like life insurance, for example. All right, R told me that he was going to meet me at the bar at 5:30 to discuss some things. Okay, well, he canceled. Let's say he didn't tell me about it, or like 7:30 got here and I'm like, hey, where you at, man? You like, or you don't respond back, or let's say you do cancel. But let's say it's within like, it's not within like something. Well, man, I'm just not feeling up to it today or something like that. That's cool. But like when somebody asks me for your services, now I don't really want to recommend you because I don't really trust your word. Like if somebody tell me they're gonna be here and they're not, and they don't follow up or they don't say anything or they do and it's BS. Well, I'm not gonna recommend your service to somebody because I don't want somebody saying, well, Adrian recommended me to you, and then you flake on the people that I recommended you to.
And 100%. And it's like great example is your events that you've been hosting.
Yeah.
You say, I'm going to have it this day.
Yeah.
And it's like stuff has went wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But you still make it.
Yeah.
And I don't even know the full back story of it. I just know
Yeah.
locations might have changed. Things have happened for sure.
Right.
But the show goes on. And,
absolutely, yeah.
And me seeing that is, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to sponsor the event. I'm bringing people because I know this is going to be a quality event.
Yeah, for sure.
So it works both ways, man. So I appreciate that you have that mindset, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Because like you said, you don't want it to happen to you because, like let's just say, man, you got other stuff that you could do today.
Yeah.
You could have interviewed anybody else. You could have been like, okay, well, I could have told this person if Adrian knew he wasn't coming. Yeah. So what that does is mess up your scheduling and mess up, things that you probably could have put in place because I didn't be standing up on my side of the deal. You know what I'm saying? Communicate, that too. But I like to 100%. If I say I'm going to do something, that's my credit score to like people.
That's your character, man, and God will return that favor.
Yeah. And once again, my name will go further than I ever will. When you get in the room and somebody say, "Hey, I heard some bad things about Adrian," just hearsay, and they don't even know me, but you know me, and you be like, "Nah, that can't be him,"
right?
Because I've always been the person that I've been to you.
Yeah.
So your character outweighs, what people say about you. You know what I'm saying?
How did you stay fit and healthy while being on the road?
Man, thank God for good genetics. Man, because during that time, I didn't really work out. Like I did here and there, but I was never committed to it. I'm being honest. I never made good eating choices until I got a little older, and I just praise God for good genetics. But I've never really been like the I gotta have fast food type person either.
You don't eat fast food?
Here and there, but I don't eat Whataburger or McDonald's or Burger King. I don't eat any of that.
Like Chipotle and.
I will eat Chipotle here and there.
That's what I'm. Yeah.
Here and there, but when I'm on the road, man, I try to find like. Of course, I'm from Alabama, so I love soul food. Like I'm a country boy, so I always try to find like places that sell soul food.
Okay.
I love my vegetables.
That's not healthy though.
Well, it depends on what you're eating.
For sure, that's everything. For sure.
So, like I said, a mix of vegetables, of course. I love collard greens. I love cabbage greens.
Okay. I see
green beans, and then it might be like a hamburger steak or something like that. So that's as
not bad.
Healthy as it gets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I don't drink sodas anymore. Back then I used to drink sodas, and then sodas was making me feel like some type of way. Like I'll take like 3 bites of food and I'm full, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. And I related it like to sodas and stuff, and I stopped drinking sodas, and that immediately went away. I started walking more, running more, and stuff like that, and started taking the escalator I'll take the stairs at airports. Like, I always think about, like, well, in the process of me going places and stuff like that, I still can make healthier decisions. And even one healthier decision is better than making a bad decision. Whereas, like, I take the escalator than opposed to the stairs, because, like, those stairs could be, like, another calorie off, or, you know.
And it compounds.
Yeah.
You take the stairs, and then you go get some food, you're like, oh, I might have a banana or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It compounds.
Yeah.
What is so you've been in a couple movies now. You had a movie Twisted Hearts come out.
Yeah.
Can you kind of go about the relationship and how that went and that whole process
of Twisted Hearts?
Yeah.
So Twisted Hearts really came to me through social media, because the director, producer, and owner of Q and Coda Studios was following me, and this was during the union strike. SAG was on strike, the writers were on strike, and all that stuff, but the industry still was trying to move along. And Curzon was like, he hit me up and he was like, man, yo, I got the perfect role for you. We was just on there talking about the strike and all that. And he was like, I got the perfect role for you. And I had expressed, like, my dealings of not wanting to be the bad guy in movies anymore, because, like, I got my foot in the door through being the bad guy. But there's so much more to me. Like, I've been to school, I've learned how to portray different characters, but people keep calling me about being the bad guy. So I started turning down the bad guy roles.
What was it like playing the bad guy? Like, I've always, one character that I just love is the Joker.
Yeah.
Like, I love that character, and that's like the crazy bad guy. What is your relationship like when you're, playing a role, whether it be a bad guy, good guy? What is that like? Do you get, like, fully immersed? Like, is there any things you take?
Nah, man.
Not like, is there like, not like take as in like consumption?
Like change about myself, or like
Sorry?
I go in the character to
go
in the character.
Yeah.
All actors are different, man, and I feel like I honestly, I could be here talking to you right now, and then I know my job in 10 minutes is to go in this room and kill somebody. I just go do it. Like, I just turn into the other person as soon as they say action. Like, other people need moments, stuff like that, and I get it, but I ain't one of those people, man. I just
turn on.
Yeah. People need time to digress and get out of the scene, and I'm like, I just kill somebody and we come back over here and bullshit, But everybody's not like that. Like Shia LaBeouf, when we was on the set of Man Down, you couldn't talk to him, you couldn't nothing, because, like, he'd be up there just stuck in character. Like, we was in basic training. They give him a card to memorize, and he stayed stuck just like this. Like, after cut, he was still, like, just stuck right there. I'm not one of those people. I'm going to, like, I need to get away from it and come back to it.
I got you.
So my thing is, I make the set a comfortable place. I laugh and joke with people, and then when it's time to go back to being the character, then I go back to being the character.
Do you believe that you're playing the character of Adrian, or do you know who Adrian really is?
In life?
Yeah.
No, I live by myself. I live as who I was raised to be.
Okay. So you're not playing the character of Adrian?
No, not by any means.
Do you believe people are playing the character in, like, real life sometimes?
Yes. I think that people get influenced by social media.
Yeah.
And they want to live to be somebody that they're not. And then when it's time to be authentic, nobody knows how to be authentic, or they don't accept themselves as their authentic self. Dang. And they're trying to live through something, a persona that people have created online that they're not even doing.
Dang.
Yeah, so that's what I think.
What's an example of, like, that you've seen? You don't have to name names or anything, but like, what's, like, something that's like a common version of that?
I'll say, like, maybe, like, we could say, like, the kids of today. They get influenced by, like, NBA YoungBoy and
got you.
Let's just say.
Do you mind if I give an example? You let me know if it's true or not. Like,
go for it.
We look at like artists like Sexy Red.
Exactly, Sexy Red.
And then all these girls, and it's like all these young girls or ladies. It's like, you don't. That's not you.
Yeah, I'll even do you one better than that. You got women that are 40 years old, and they're listening to Sexy Red, and Sexy Red is probably about 23, 24 maybe.
Yeah, I don't even know how she is.
Okay, so tell me, how old are you?
I'm 29. I'm about to be 30.
Okay, so tell me at a point that you would have listened to your 18-year-old self. Like, let's say it's a girl making 18-year-old music, and she's saying this, or a young NBA young boy making 18-year-old music, and then you got a 40-year-old who's trying to live it what this 18-year-old's talking about. Like, what version of you would listen to your 18-year-old self?
What version of me would listen to my?
With this today, would you
would I listen to the 18-year-old version of me? Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's
absolutely
what I'm saying.
Not.
But there's an 18-year-old on behind the lyrics on the radio, and people like, don't trust this man. Don't like F this dude. Like slap your mama, and they like the 40-year-old person like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because it's true though.
Yeah.
And you can be outside at like a bar or something, and you can see that character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if I'm gonna be influenced by somebody, it needs to be somebody that's highly successful in an avenue that's gonna help me win in life.
Yeah.
Not taking from people, not treating people poorly.
Morals, ethics, values, principles.
Yeah. Like like even yourself. Like, you carry yourself well. You're about business. Stuff like that. Like, even at 38 years old, there's something I can learn from you. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
And vice versa.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter that a person is 18-year-old, but it matters what you're talking about, like how you move, yourself,
sure.
Things like that. So yeah.
It's one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was, you talk about being influenced by people.
Yeah.
Is I like to be influenced by people I want to trade places with.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I don't want to trade places with you, I don't want to take advice from you.
Yeah.
So like if let's say you do have a lot of money, but if you are living a life of
like Diddy.
Yeah,
you don't want
right.
that.
I don't want that life.
Yeah. And
no character, no integrity.
Yeah, and
no real family. Like I'm very big on I want to have a strong family.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have be married, have kids, have all that. And it's like if you can't live that life, I don't want to take advice from you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's crazy, like on the Diddy subject, and I don't want to touch on it too much, but his character plays a part in his story.
Right.
Who's coming to your defense?
And he's playing a character. That's so funny. He's playing a character though.
Right. But who's coming to, like, right now, like, if somebody accused me of,
or Joe Rogan, when CNN was trying to accuse Joe Rogan,
yeah,
everyone came out and was like, Joe's not like that.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. So there's nobody defending his character. Like, when you treat people bad and stuff like that, people want to see your downfall because you didn't have to treat people like you could have still been a stand-up person. Yeah. But nobody's coming to his defense. Like, I haven't heard anybody come to his defense, So, that just goes to show you that however you treat people in the world, it'll probably come back on you.
Who is somebody that you look up to or consider like a mentor?
Yeah.
Is there anyone in that role, or maybe not even nearby, but maybe you look at from afar?
Yeah. It's a few people. And I know like people. Denzel is like a number one. Yeah. To people, which I like the way that he's carried his career, himself, and the way that people respect him. It says a lot about him. Jamie Foxx, Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, Amari Hardwick. Have
you had a chance to meet or have a conversation with these people?
Jamie Foxx.
How was that?
It was cool. Actually, it was on a party tip. We was at his house.
Really?
At a house party, and he was trying to kick everybody out. And then he somebody's car was blocking something, and he was telling everybody to leave. And then he was like, yeah, player, you got to go too. Yeah, you got to go. And then Calvin was with me. And I told Calvin, I said, man, I learned this in the military. Act like you're supposed to be here. Nobody will say nothing to you. Facts. So I said, just get away from me. You go over there and just look like you're supposed to be here. And nobody going to say nothing to you. They closed the doors. Like 5 minutes later, the party commenced. It was Trey Songz in there. Chris Brown was in there. Busta Rhymes was in there. T Grizzly was in there. And we was just in there just. Chris Brown was trying to have a freaking dance out. Like he was like,
you're going to win, bro.
Yeah, like everybody was like, But yeah, he was up there like, who want to like battle a dance battle, and then
it's like Michael Jordan be like, all right, let's go play basketball. So,
right.
Well, you're going to win. What are we doing?
Right. But yeah, man, but definitely those people, man. what's his name? Michael B. Jordan. I like the way he's carried himself. Those guys have done great things. So I definitely aspire to be where they are one day.
It's funny that you bring up Denzel. The other day at our office, we did a training.
Yeah.
And it's the beginning of the year, and some of my mentors, we had a training sesh with about maybe 30, 40 of us.
Yeah.
And our mentor, she's a couple in business.
Mm-hmm.
And they make $3 million passive. They've paid out over $100 million in commissions to their team. I can go on and on about them. They're just outstanding people. They did this exercise of handing out different actors' profiles in different movie roles.
Okay.
So we got Denzel in Training Day.
Okay.
And the purpose of this exercise is, hey, we're going to act like millionaires if we really want to be millionaires.
Yeah.
We're going to act like successful entrepreneurs in business and finance.
Mm-hmm.
You need to walk and act like that every single day. So to practice, what we're going to do is we're going to practice other roles.
Oh, God, yeah.
So it's like, hey, if you can pretend to be Denzel in Training Day or all these other different roles, if you can do this, then you can pretend to you can believe in yourself to go make this shit happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was a fun role, man.
That's what's up.
We had a couple people go up and do it, and it was like you can see the energy that people come with when they're playing a role.
Yeah, that's what's up.
And it's like, you know what I mean? I'm sure you probably know better than me. It's like the energy that someone comes with in playing a role, and then it's like you got to put that energy into being yourself.
Yeah.
Do you think that way ever?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can bring somebody else's energy, but you can also put that into yourself and still have an impact.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What are you excited for, man?
Life, man. Life, success. Like, there's always levels to get to, and like you just can't have a downward attitude, if you will, I guess, when you're trying to reach positive levels, So I'm excited about the next phase, the next opportunity, the next wave of people, helping other people's life to be better, creating opportunities for other people. That's stuff like that make me happy. My number one thing is helping other people, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I could live happy every day if I could help somebody else. Yeah. Especially people that deserve it, Yeah. So, yeah.
Describe your relationship with God, man. You brought God up a few times.
Yeah.
How did that come from at a young age, and how did that develop over the years?
First off, my mama, everything is about God. Whereas as soon as she opened her mouth, So, and then, like, sometimes you hit rock bottom, man, and you have no other choice but to like get on your knees and like ask God like to help you and help lead the way and things of that nature. So, there's been a lot of rock bottom moments in my life, and even like today, from where we started at in life, there was nothing, and now I probably got more stuff than my peers, like me and my brother both, and we were like set back the furthest. We didn't have, we only had mom to provide, no dad to teach us how to be men, and we had to rely on like the men in the community, things of that nature. And like today, we probably have more than our peers that we went to school with. And I watched this video before, and it said it was telling the guys on the football team. Mm-hmm. So if you have both of your parents, take one step forward. If your parents completed college, take a step forward. If you have a nice house and you never had to worry about where your meal came from and all that, take a step forward. If your mom and dad work full-time jobs, take a step forward. If your mom and dad retired, take a step forward. And then the coach told him, like, after he got finished saying all of that, like, look behind you. And then there was a lot of black kids behind that were less fortunate. And then he was like, well, this is how much of a head start you had in life. And this is where they had to start at. And yet you guys are at the same place, But it's all about what you want to do with yourself now and how you govern yourself as to where you're going. Mm-hmm. And I sent my brother that video, and he was like, man, we would have been at the back of the line, but we're leading the front of the line now. My brother works for Georgia Power, and he's like one of the most lucrative people at Georgia Power because, like, he damn near control like the power in Georgia and like when and all of Atlanta, excuse me. And his position can't be filled like overnight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he's really important.
It's not easily replaced.
Yeah. And then it's like it's on the IT side with that type of stuff and things of that nature. So, no college degree. He went AWOL in the military. He was during a bad time in his life, like, but they gave him a general discharge, which didn't mess him up. And like I said, now he's leading that company. You know, one of the highest people at that company. And I've been fortunate enough not to have to work after 26. So I haven't worked since I was 26 years old, and I'm living my dream. And I'm one of the only people in my family that don't work, you know? So, I'm able to, like, compete with the masses today. So from then to now is a major difference. We went from not having nowhere to stay, $75 a week I think was the rent, and now own multiple properties, you know what I'm saying? And my mama will come and she'll be like, I can't thank nobody but God because this ain't what we started at.
Yeah.
You know? And my uncle and them said the same thing. They came for Christmas, and I was like, man, so it don't look like where we started at. Like, my house is probably one of the biggest ones in my family. My brother's house, I think he wanted to one up me, which he's the older brother. So he went and bought a new house when I bought mine. I was like, yours ain't gonna be bigger than mine. But it depends on how much he want to move, because I'm gonna keep on going. Yeah, man, it's taking perspective, man. Like, just because you was born this type of way or you was put in this type of position doesn't mean you have to stay there. So it's all about, like, a mindset. And even though I am where I'm at, I'm still not satisfied. Like, I want to double the size of my house. And I don't know, maybe when I double the size, maybe I still want to double the size again.
Right.
And then maybe that's too big for me and I want to go back down. I don't know. But I'm still not satisfied. That's my thing. I don't get complacent. You know, I'm not happy just because I achieved this milestone. That was what I wanted then, but now it's a whole new set of wants now, you know.
My favorite example of what you just mentioned is, like, and I'll give you this in real life. I did this in real life. I went to Hawaii last year, and we're climbing this mountain on this trail. Yeah. And the whole goal is, hey, we're going to get to the top of this mountain and watch the sunrise. Yeah. So we're climbing this mountain. We get to the top of the peak, and then we realize, oh, there's another peak. Yeah. We go to that peak. Yeah. We go to that top of that peak. We realize there's another peak. Yeah. And it just every time we got to the peak, there was always another peak. Yeah. So it never stops, man. Once you get to the top of the peak, you realize there's always more to that mountain. Yeah. And I just wonder, man, like, when will I stop? Like, will I be like, okay, age is, you know, or will I never stop? Will I never be tired? I don't think you're supposed to stop. Yeah. If you stop, I think that's when you start dying. Yeah. Like, absolutely. There's people that once they so there's a statistic where it's like, if once you retire, on average, you live about 5 more years. Yeah. If you stop doing something. Yeah, absolutely. But if you're always working and you wake up with a purpose, whether it's maybe not manual labor, but you're doing something. Yeah, and I still do everything outside, man. I still cut grass. I still, man, it's a passion for me, because I'm a country boy. Like, those are my roots. Like, that's all I know. Yeah. You know, so, like, I don't call somebody and get them to do it unless maybe I'm on set like 3 months straight at a time. That's the only time I'll be like, okay, I need to get somebody by to cut the grass or something like that. But if there's a break in between, like a weekend, I'm going to come home on the weekend and I'm going to cut my grass, you know what I'm saying? But that keeps me young, too. And my mom's the same way. My mom never, she can barely walk, and she still want to go do crap and stay gone all day, you know what I'm saying? So I think that for the longevity of my life, I'll probably do the same thing. Do you think that people that started off, kind of like in that analogy you gave us, take a step forward, the people that had less, do you think they have an advantage over the people that had more? The people that had less have an advantage, mindset, because you got to get it. You know, there's nobody coming to save you, which we already knew that. Life doesn't get any better because nobody's, like, the one job was to raise me, like, just to take care of me. That's it. Like, if I didn't get the extra while I was being raised, what makes you think that I'm gonna get it as an adult? So I had to figure it out. If you want more, go get more. You know. So yeah, definitely the people that haven't made per se that they were always giving and never taught to go get. They're soft. Yeah. And, like, I can run circles around them in life. You know what I'm saying? So I remember being in school and they said, like, the A and B students. I mean, the C and D students run the world. Right. Oh, that's so true, though, bro. Yeah, it's very true. Like I told you, my brother, he didn't graduate college or nothing. He's still, like, one of the highest up on the ladder at Georgia Pacific.
I've never completed a college, but I don't have to work for anybody today. I can write my own check by the successes that I have through life or start my own business. So they're handicapped because mom and dad got money, or maybe you want a lawsuit or something. I don't know, but life insurance, I don't know, but something has handicapped them to the point to it where they don't feel like they got to get up and go get it.
Yeah.
And I don't ever want that amount of money to make me feel like I can sit at home and be successful. Because I'm probably gonna always be starting another business or something like that, to where I feel like if I want to keep this thing going, I got to show up and immerse myself into it.
The A and B students were always taught to follow instructions.
Yeah.
And stay in line.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs, you can't.
Yeah,
that's not gonna work.
You got to be ready to fail.
I talked to a Deca millionaire a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
And I went to their wedding, to his wedding. I grew up with the lady he ended up marrying, and I would follow them on Instagram, and they're just like living this crazy life. I saw that he's an investor in different things, and I just reached out to him. I was like, hey man, I'd love to just connect and learn about your story, kind of like offline.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was talking to him. I was like, hey man, what do you got going on? What are you excited about? He goes, man, life's been too good. He goes, I want to go and just live in a bunk bed and get rid of all my stuff because I feel like he goes, there's too much cushion stuff around me.
Yeah.
He has a fantastic loft in downtown Dallas. Everywhere he goes, like everything is made for it. And he goes, man, I want to sell everything and live in a bunk bed. Because I was telling him a little bit about my situation. Yeah. And some of the struggles I'm currently going through. And he was like, man, I kind of envy you. And I'm like, isn't that interesting?
Yeah, right.
Somebody who has millions in the bank is saying, I envy your situation because I want to be like starving. Yeah. Yeah. So such an interesting mindset, man.
It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
What else is on your mind, man? I want to give you the opportunity to speak what's on your mind. Ask me any questions, anything like that.
Yeah. Man, I'm always thinking about like the next move, my next set of goals, and a way to not exist in society but be a part of creating like something better for society. So that's kind of how creatives came up too. So that's kind of like where I'm at with it. I got a few movies coming up, so I still have to study the scripts and stuff like that. But I do think about life insurance all the time. But the reason I didn't immerse myself into it is because like it's going to take me away from what I'm passionate about. Because like I always elected to do the things that align with my vision and my goals and where I'm going in life. And like creatives, for example, like the database of people that I'm building are still important to my acting side of things. The more people that know me, the more successful, or the bigger numbers. And in return, like the things that I want in Dallas, or like if I have family coming in town, it's literally because I built a relationship. Hey man, I need to the press box suite at the Dallas Cowboys game or something like that, or we coming to the Cowboys game, I got like 10 people, and then people like that. It's all a relationship,
right?
Like, yeah, man, come on, like how many people you got? Yeah, cool, all because of just being a good person and making a relationship, So, and creatives is just that way to facilitate my name and how I want to move in Dallas. Like I pretty much got it. Like whatever I want to do, I can do it. But nobody needs to think like, okay, you could do everything. So that's why I keep on going, because I literally want to do everything and want to know every relationship that I could have here in town, and even abroad too. Like I feel like if I did creatives in Atlanta, I know a lot of people everywhere. So people would support. I would go find like one of the most popular people there, get them to help me out, get it off the ground, and just keep going from there. But yeah, how things are like with the life insurance thing, or what you have going?
Man, it's been good, bro. Man, I'm looking to just continue expanding, man. Like just helping more people. I'm very aligned with your vision as well in terms of just helping people, man. Yeah. Like in the way that you want to help bridge the gap with connection and relationship. Same thing, but in just my area of expertise is just life insurance. Yeah. So I love being able to provide that education, that value.
For sure.
Seeing, and I don't know if I told you, but I was a product of not having life insurance. Yeah. So we got things happened within our family, and it was like, man, we didn't have some things in place, and it was like, okay, if I had this in place, things could be a lot different.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, man, I didn't know. And then in terms of just like leveraging it to become your own bank and pull money out and use it for investments, it's like, oh man. So I'm so passionate about that, and I love all that stuff, man. So it's been super fun, man. Yeah. And just like I met with a crypto hedge fund guy yesterday. What's today? 2 days ago, Wednesday. I met him Wednesday.
Yeah, today Friday. Yeah.
And he obviously doing well because his Bitcoin's going crazy. Yeah. And he's looking to move money around and put in life insurance and then pull it back out, put it back in crypto, and it's like so much cool things you can do, man.
Yeah. I heard y'all speak at that thing I went to, and I was like, yo, you can do that for real.
Oh, at the office?
Yeah. But yeah, that's something else. That it creates generational wealth too. And I was thinking, like, I don't know if my grandma had life insurance. I know my mom does, but I don't know if my grandma do. My dad, and those things I need to look into as well.
We'll talk about it offline, man. We'll see what we can do. What's have you talked to Kim recently? How's she doing?
I haven't talked to Kim since she was actually supposed to be at the last event, but
she told me she was gonna be. I got her the drink, the minerals.
Oh yeah, the black water.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't talked to her since she said she was going to bring some people, and I didn't see her, but maybe she'll be at the next one, though. The next one's February 5th.
Oh, why don't we take a moment and promote it in the camera? Okay. And then I'll chop it up and we'll make a reel out of it. So then when we go, we'll...
Okay. So you guys, there's an event that we have that merges entertainers with everyday professionals. So that means that the entertainment industry of producers, directors, writers, grip, sound, like whatever you may have, we merge the entertainment industry together along with everyday professionals in life insurance, credit repair, tax preparation, you name it. Anything in the professional industry, we bring those guys together in a room where they can collide and be a service to each other. And it happens once a month. The next one is February 5th here in Dallas at Venta Key. I want to say the address is 424 West Davis Street in Bishop Arts. And it's a great time. It's a great vibe. The people are amazing. And we come to connect and make life-changing relationships.
Cool, man. Yeah, we'll chop that up. I love the flexibility of a podcast, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I record these long contents, and then I could put it in AI, and then it'll pop out reels.
Oh, that's what's up.
So that's how I make the reels, man. Because I got someone to help me edit and upload and all that stuff. Because I don't know if you know, I still got my full-time job.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm a biomedical engineer by day. Yeah, I got my work laptop on me. I got my business laptop on me. Yeah. I do this. So
that's what's up, man.
Product of America, bro.
Yeah,
product of following my dreams, man. So that's why podcast called Dollar and a Dream.
Yeah,
that's all we got.
Yeah, for sure. And man, anytime I can help you or facilitate anything, man, of course, I'm always here, man. Same.
Cool, man. Brian, do you have any questions? Any questions off the camera?
How was it like because I'm sure like you said, your brother always one loves you, right?
Yeah.
Like, how is your relationship like with your brother, and how are y'all able to like maintain like a strong relationship together?
Let me repeat it just because you don't have a mic. So he wants to know how's your relationship with your brother and competing and trying to one up each other, and how do y'all maintain that?
So at the end of the day, when one of us win, we all win. So that's first. It's really
that's a good question.
Yeah, it's really not like competitive like I would be like running a race. Like trying to win a race. It's just like I think it's more of like a big brother thing for him. Like I ain't gonna let my little brother outdo me. But for me, it's like I never like look at him and be like I want better than him. I just go do what it is that I want to do, and then it ends up being something that turns into a competition, I guess, so to speak. But our relationship is strong because we know where we came from. We know that we have at the end of the day, and we needed to depend on each other because we are brothers, And at the end of the day, if I need somebody, then I know nobody's gonna be there quicker than my brother, So yeah, I had a god brother though, man. He died 2 years ago. But he used to own medical labs, and he introduced me like to a world of like how rich people live. Because he was a millionaire. He used to, like I said, he owned medical labs, and he had a lot of money. Like he had the Rolls Royce already, the Escalades. We lived in a penthouse in Houston. And in the Bible it says that God he'll introduce you to it before he gives it to you. So that was my introduction of like having nice things, and it changed my mindset. And he'll always tell people, like when we go everywhere, he'll tell women, he'll tell everybody, he'll be like, all right, now we common people, but you just can't treat us like common people, like that. So that was one of his favorite sayings. And I go places now and I tell people like, yeah, I'm a common person. I'm from Alabama. I'm grandson of a sharecropper. That was one of his favorite lines. He said, we grandkids of a sharecropper, but just because we're common, like that don't mean you can treat us common.
Right.
So
we're not gonna end common.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, man, it's those type of things that just you want to keep building and keep being better. And my introduction through him of that life makes me want to go after it again. Just keep after like what he introduced me to. Sprinter vans, everything, man. Mercedes Sprinter vans that had Maybach interior, like all that type of stuff. And then I was even able to get that Sprinter van booked for Beyonce.
Interesting.
My neighbor he's in the music industry, and his best friend is Jay-Z's transportation guy. And he sent pictures of the Sprinter van to Jay-Z, to his transportation dude, and they booked it $10,000 a month, 3 months, and they returned it when Beyonce came to Dallas for a concert. Yeah.
It's all relationships, man.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I try to tell people all the time, man. A relationship is golden. It's better than an education, You can get educated through a relationship.
Facts, man.
Yeah.
And, hey, man, you can't go backwards. If I knew what I know now, I wouldn't have. I don't want to say I wouldn't have went to school, because it's kind of like the military, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like I'm very happy I did it, but it's like I really did take away more by building relationships.
Yeah. That's
but hey, man, God is. He doesn't make mistakes, man. He's doing everything on purpose.
Absolutely.
Anything else on your mind, Brian?
How did the military kind of incorporate into the business world / your acting world?
Yeah. How did the military incorporate to the business world / acting world?
Yeah. So the military is all about being where you need to be, doing what you need to do, looking how you're supposed to look. Like if you can do those three things in the military, you can make it anywhere in life. There's time, there's discipline, and etiquette, like just the whole way you carry yourself. And if you translate that into civilian life, think like if we supposed to be here at 4:30, I don't want to be the person that's like, if somebody had me here, I don't want to. Basically, what I'm trying to say is being where I'm supposed to be at on time. Doing what I'm supposed to do and looking like I'm supposed to look for whatever job that they have me here for. So it teaches discipline. It's the number one thing, and attention to detail is the next. So in life, if you are looking that far ahead up in traffic and, you see that there's a slowdown and there's an exit ramp, or there's a black sheet of ice in a icy situation, like you'll do what you can to prevent it, than opposed to running into it and causing yourself trouble later. So the military played like a prominent role in my success because of those things alone. I don't never want to be the person that somebody's waiting on. I would rather wait on somebody, and at the end of the day, that travels along with my character, because people are going to have something to say about you regardless. Like my mom always say, just at least they talked about Jesus, but at least don't give them nothing bad to say about you. Do the things that you need to do, So I try to do that.
Cool, man. Anything else? Got one more question. We'll see.
Yeah, you ask me as you want to. I don't care.
How is it like carrying yourself around these high profile people, individuals, for example, you were saying earlier that that you were telling your friend just like, hey, just act like you're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
They kicked everyone else out, but
Yeah.
y'all stayed, and then
Exactly.
another example like Child Above, like
Yeah.
coming to you.
Yeah.
So the question is, how do you act around such high profile people? For example, act like you're supposed to be there, being
Right.
around at that party and
Right.
around Shia LaBeouf.
Well, so my desire and what I'm doing, I've been acting 11 years now, is to be looked at just like they're being looked at. So when I see them, I don't see any difference. Like I don't be like, ooh, like, because they put their pants on just like I do one leg after the other one. So the only difference between me and that person is success. So if I stay true to what I'm doing, then my success will probably reach theirs or beat theirs. So it's really no difference, man. If I can't make a relationship out of it, then it was just nice to meet them, and I keep it moving, just like me and him would talk. I would talk to them just like that, So yeah, I don't see like the celebrity side. Like I always wondered though, like what would make me a fan? Like who would I run into that would make me a fan? And I just don't have an answer for it,
I used to get like starstruck,
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then once I was around some of it, and I kind of grew, and I was like, they like you said, they put their pants on just like I do.
Yeah.
They're a human being.
Yeah. And that at the end of the day, they want you to treat them just like that, Now you got some people who be like, they act like they're holier than thou, but when they act like that, I just keep on going, I honestly don't take pictures with celebrities unless I work with them too. So just because I meet them, I don't like take a picture with them. But if we work together, for my keepsake and like from Mom or the newspaper or something like that, I'll take a picture with them because I had the chance to work with them. That means something to me, than opposed to just running into them. I don't really care to take a picture with them if I run into them.
They're human. Something I would say is whenever I felt smaller than somebody.
Yeah.
I would I don't know if it was good or bad, but I'd be like, they bleed just like I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone just bleeds just like we do.
Yeah, the difference between us and them is they didn't quit, and we have the opportunity to do what they're doing and not quit too, So yeah, definitely.
Cool, man. Hey, man, Adrian, I had a blast with you. You're welcome here anytime. I'm looking forward to the next event, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. Come back anytime.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Adrian Lockett, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, appreciate it, brother. Love.
All love, man.
Thanks, man.